Rick Kamla, hired by Albert Hall and Darren Matsubara to come here and have the privilege of calling these games with Antonio Harvey. I'm an NBA guy, and I don't really know about the grassroots level of basketball. I'll freely admit that. I'm not really an NCAA fan. But I'm a fan of the dream of getting to the NBA, and that's what this is all about. And I mean, first things first, these kids have to get a college scholarship, go there and do it and become big time and then make the NBA. But it all starts here at this high level of AAU type of basketball at Adidas Nations. The championship game was a fantastic game. It came down to the last second. Corey Joseph, the player of this tournament, had a chance to win it with a three. He missed, and USA 2010 won the championship by 2 points. It's been a really, really fun experience for me to come down here to Dallas and do this.
Rick, you mentioned you're not too familiar with a lot of the stuff that goes on at the lower levels of basketball. What are your impressions after a week in Dallas and at Adidas Nations?
Well, I mean, these are elite players, obviously, so the expectations were relatively high. I mean, I did not expect to come here and see guys dribbling it off their legs and see air ball after air ball, and that's clearly not what I saw. But my expectations were exceeded a little bit with the play that I saw here. There actually wasn't as much dunking as I thought there would be. A couple of times, you'd see a guy sort of get rejected by the rim, or they would try a windmill, or they would try something really sassy, and they would miss just by that much. But then you consider these guys are 16 and 17 and 18 years old, and they're not finished products, and sort of the dunks and the highlight plays that we take for granted as NBA fans, these guys are working towards that. But the effort level was very, very high. The basketball IQ for most of the players was very high relative to their level and their age. I was just real impressed. I mean, it's a fabulous facility. The organizers have done a great job with this. The basketball's been fantastic. There's been an NBA feel here with the NBA players and mentors. Former NBA players have been the head coaches of these teams. So I've been really, really impressed.
Being you're an NBA fan, did you find yourself watching anyone you're like, wow, this guy's going to develop and be a great player in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at college ball. That's how I look at D-League ball. That's how I look at Summer League ball. And this is literally my first AAU type of experience. And, I think all of us like playing GM. We like playing scout. And we're not paid to do that, but that doesn't mean that we don't like putting on that hat and having fun in that regard. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at guys and, you've really got to extrapolate and forecast and imagine what these guys will be 3, 4, 5 years from now. There's definitely a lot of talent here and a lot of prospects. A couple of guys, I mean, I think Rakeem Christmas is going to approach 7 feet. He's very, very active on the defensive end. And he's got a long way to go, but I think he's going to be an NBA player. If you had to just say yes or no right now, I'd say yes. And then, of course, I saved the best for last, Corey Joseph of the Canadian team. Just an absolutely fantastic player. I love the poise. I love the fact that he acts like he's been there before. He's not in awe of himself, that he is so good, and I'm the man and all this kind of stuff. He just seems like a real level-headed kid. I just met him a moment ago. He just has sort of an aw shucks mentality to him, which I think is going to take him a long way. I think no matter how great you are, if you're humble, it keeps you working to always get better. And I think he has that. Talking with a lot of people out here, and a lot of people that know more than me about the game of basketball, they all think Corey Joseph is a guaranteed NBA player, and I agree.
You watch a lot of coaches that have careers or have had careers in the NBA. Who did a great job this week?
Well, I think Reggie Theus did a great job with the Canadian team, and Eddie Johnson, who coached the African team here, is good friends with Reggie. And when we had him on the broadcast, Eddie was joking that, I'm good friends with Reggie, but if I had Corey Joseph on my team, I'd be playing today as well. And when he says that he's talking about either playing in the third place game or the championship game, and because Corey's the best player here, presumably the championship game. But all of that said, Reggie Theus coached the Canadian team to a victory on Friday in the semis over the USA 2011 team. A stacked roster of fantastic talent, and they were a missed three from about 25 feet at the buzzer from Corey Joseph away from beating the USA 2010 team. So, you know, you've got to give Joseph his credit. Brady Heslip, the big man Powell, the Canadian team is real good, but I thought Reggie Theus did a wonderful job coaching that team. I liked his fire and intensity and the fact that he was staying on his guys. He was treating it like a big-time event in a big-time game he really wanted to win. And I think his players followed suit, and I think they were diving on the floor. They really wanted to win this tournament, and they fell just a little bit short.